Okay, so you're going to watch me running back and forth because I just tested this out. I just tested my mic out, and there's a certain amount of how far I can be away from you before it cuts out. So you're just gonna watch me run back and forth for a little bit. But I'm going to tell you about a little bit about this video. So basically, what I had planned, I was going to make a video about note taking. That didn't end up working out. So what I'm going to do, because I committed myself to making at least one video per week on this channel, is to see if I can do still do flips. So I had this huge phase when I was younger where I was really into like parkour and free running like that and stuff like that. And so I'll put some videos of younger me doing like backflips and front flips and side flips. And I was also really into like, so that's, if you don't know, that's kind of like free running stuff. Like all the flips and stuff like that. So what parkour is being able to get from A to B as quickly as possible. But free running is being able to get from point A to point B as creatively as possible. So I'll put some examples, but in parkour, that's where you see people like scale buildings and not necessarily scale buildings, but like there's all these technical ways of like getting over obstacles, like con, double con, speed vault, dash, and stuff like that, where flips aren't really a part of parkour. But free running, you do so many flips. And that was what I was really into. I had this other YouTube channel that, like, I made a couple of videos where I made a few videos during COVID. And two of those videos was me doing this kind of progression, learning how to do different kinds of flips. So one of them was like a round off back full, and the other one was this thing called a cork. And it's been 6 years since I've done that. So I don't really know where I stand. On top of that, I'm not in the best shape. So I don't really know. I don't really know where I stand. The idea for this video is to kind of see where I'm at. Yeah, I'm kind of like an old fart now. Cause I gotta like stretch and stuff like that. But I seriously do not want to injure myself, so I'm going to stretch as much as possible before I try anything. But yeah, the plan is to see if I can still do some flips. My goal for this video is to see if I can do what's called a J-step gainer, or a kick the moon, or a cheat gainer. And what it is basically a one-footed backflip. We do this thing where, like, instead of just doing like standing backflip, you like have this run up where you go like, oh, I would probably not frame. You do this run up, and it's like a J. So it's like boom, and then you kick and you do a backflip. So we'll see if I can do that this video. Doing some hamstring stretches. I've been super lazy this weekend, and I had plans to do. Well, I'm doing a lot of projects right now, so I haven't had time to make another video for this channel. And again, like I said earlier, I wanted to post a video today, and it was kind of going to be about how to take better notes. But it turns out that is taking way longer than I expected. So hopefully that will be out by next. I should be able to get done by next weekend. But and I have this other video that I'm working on, but it's probably going to be like at least another 2 or 3 weeks before that's out. And I have another video that I'm working on as well, which is, if you look at the first video in my channel, I sort of talk about this series about wanting to go to the Asian games and stuff like that, because I was a track athlete in college or whatever, and I think I'm setting my sights up a little bit too high, especially because I don't have access to a pit for triple jump. So what I'm going to do is still make that series, but the focus is going to be on getting sub 11. And I'm working on that right now. Hopefully that will be out by the end of something. The end of this month, maybe. Oh wow, that's coming up a lot sooner than I thought. Hopefully it'll be out by the end of this month. Yeah, I've just been super lazy this weekend. Not lazy mentally, but lazy physically. And these are definitely not the best shoes for this. Definitely not the best shoes. I wonder how long this mic lasts. What else can I do? This. Well, I guess we'll find out. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, let's get this hose out of the way. And so what I'm thinking is just to slowly progress into doing flips. So I'm going to start by taking my shoes off because these are not the best for doing flips in. Oh, this is not really good ground. Okay, whatever. It's probably fine. There was better ground. I'm going to, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the easiest thing that I know how to do, and that's just a cartwheel. Simple, basic cartwheel. So what I'm thinking is first a progression to a backflip. And this is what I would tell people that want to learn how to do a backflip, is to do this progression. And I'm going to show you. So the first thing is just, you need to at least be able to do a cartwheel. So boom, cartwheel, that is the first step to this progression. So I'll try to do it the other way. I'm left-handed, so doing a right-handed cartwheel is a little bit harder. Actually, that was a little bit easier for me. That's kind of weird. But that's the first part of this progression. Now you may be asking, what does a cartwheel have to do with doing a backflip? Well, I'm going to show you. So when you do a backflip, obviously you start like standing and then boom, you do a backflip. The first real part of this progression, or I guess the second part of this progression, is just starting in this backflip position and then just going into a cartwheel. So it's going to be like, and that might look a little bit weird. Like you don't have, it doesn't have to be perfect. It obviously doesn't have to be perfect at first. It's like it could be like that. You want to get to the point where you can do it like relatively easily and you're confident when you're doing it. Obviously, the best way to learn how to do a backflip is to get someone to spot you, get someone to push you do the backflip and then push you over. But if you don't have anyone, this is probably the safest way to go about doing it. So the second progression is just that. Basically, after you learn how to do that, oh, my back is starting to hurt a little bit. My back is hurting a little bit, but that's okay. It's not that bad. But basically, the next progression that you want to get to is to be able to do a back handspring. And basically what that is just, oh my God, the sun is killing me. But basically, oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna turn the camera around. Okay, I think this is a little better surface to do it. Basically, what a back handspring is just a backflip while putting your hands down. So the difference between this sort of like back cartwheel kind of thing and a back handspring is that your head, like your shoulder is dipping and your head is turning sideways when you're doing a cartwheel. So what you want to do to get from this back cartwheel type of thing to a back handspring to slowly go more and more over your shoulder, rotate slowly more and more over your shoulder to the point where you're going straight back. So your first back cartwheel, whatever you want to call it, is going to be like this, right? Then the next one should be a little bit more over your shoulder. So maybe like this. And then you keep on doing that until you get to a back handspring. So more. I haven't done this in so long, but a little bit more. And maybe one more. This one's going to be almost a back handspring. You get comfortable doing that a couple of times, then you can start to do back handsprings like this. Oh, I'm exhausted. So the progression from here to a backflip is basically the exact same thing as the progression from a back cartwheel to a back handspring. You're going to take little tiny baby steps. You're going to be able to do this back handspring, right? The difference between a back handspring and a backflip is you don't use your hands. And there's also another difference where a back handspring is you're jumping more. So if I were to do a back handspring this way, you're jumping more back than you are up. So instead of jumping horizontally, you want to be jumping vertically. Maybe I'll show this progression of me going from the side. And if you ever take gymnastics, they will never, never, ever, ever teach you backflips like this because it's bad form, yada, 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 whatever. But this is just a way to take this concept of backflip and break it down into tiny little baby pieces. So we have our back handspring. Just make sure there's nothing weird on the ground. I'll start from this side because it's a little bit soft. Actually, I'm going to start from this side because that part is softer. So you got your back handspring. Whoa! My wrists are hurting a little bit. Another thing that's good is if you do this on a slight slant, and this ground is a little bit slanted. So that's another thing. Like if you could find a good hill to do this down. So you got the back handspring, and you want to go a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher each time. So maybe instead of that one, you want to go a little bit, just a tiny bit higher. Oh, I'm breathing heavy. Now a little bit higher back handspring. Whoa! That might have been a little bit too high. You get the idea. Higher and higher back handsprings until you get to the point where you do like basically a backflip. It will probably look something like this. Where you like where you land with your hands on the ground like this. It depends on how high you can jump. But since I think I can jump fairly high, you might just be able to do a backflip without having to tuck. But that definitely wasn't the case when I was like 8 or 9. So a lot of the times I would be doing a backflip and I would be laying on this. There was one day where I was practicing backflips in my backyard and I kept on under rotating, and I was getting frustrated. So I was laying like this, and I was like, oh, why can't I just land it? Like I should be able to do this. And so I kept on doing it. On one attempt, I had a little brain fart and I kind of forgot to jump and I forgot to rotate and I landed straight on my head. Hurt so bad. But anyways, if you find yourself under rotating, what you need to do is there's actually 3 things that you can do to stop under rotating. The first one is you just can't jump high enough, which I think if you can jump like that high, then you should theoretically be able to do a backflip. So that's one thing that you can work on. The second thing that you could work on is we haven't been tucking during these back handsprings. When I normally do a backflip, you tuck, and that will just make you rotate faster. So you could practice tucking. The third thing that you can do is when you do a back handspring, like I said, you're jumping way far back horizontally. This is what was kind of hard for me to do, is that when I started doing backflips, I was still landing kind of far back where I could be landing maybe just a little bit less back. And that's another thing that you can do. It's a little bit scary at first to jump up and vertical because you don't think you're gonna rotate, but you do end up rotating. So, but I'd say probably the easiest way to go from under rotating backflips to sticking backflips is just a tuck. So backflip, and you can see that I still jumped a good distance back. So I got a little bit to work on. So boom, backflip's done. Let's do the big 3: backflips, side flips, and front flips. And I guess we'll do front flips first because I don't really like them. And we're actually not going to do a front flip. In free running, what this is called is a Webster, where you're doing basically a one-footed front flip. So instead of a front flip where you're like punching the ground, we're going to do a front flip where we're jumping off of one foot and kicking our feet back. And I'm not going to really do a tutorial. I don't really have a progression for this. I hate front flips or any front rotation because you can't you can't see the ground. It's kind of just like a blind flip. So I'm just gonna try to do this as maybe I'll try a punch. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if my tendons are good for that. Yeah, no, I haven't done a front flip in so long. So this is scarier to me than doing a backflip. I think I should just I think I should just send it. I'm just scared. I'm just scared of over rotating. So let's see. Yeah, I just need to send it. Oh, whoa. Oh, that was weird. That was really weird. But it didn't feel too bad. I'll try and make that a little bit cleaner. Oh, stretch out my hamstrings a little bit. The one thing that I will say that I am much better at than me in the past was doing stretches, because I didn't do any stretches when I was 16 and I got super stiff. That probably messed me up for like the first couple of years of track. You know what? We're good now. Okay, let's try and get this cleaner. Whoa! Okay, just checking if my mic died. Okay, mic is still working. That feels really, I'm not even in frame. That feels really weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep repping that out and seeing if I can make it not be so scary for me to do. I want to get to the point where I can just like, just like casually walk and then boom, front flip, keep on walking. Is that chicken poop? I'm gonna turn my camera around a little bit so I think I stepped on a branch or something. Okay, don't step right there. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna take my own advice and tuck just a little bit more. Whoa, that didn't help at all. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit more into it. Okay, I'm non-frame. I am done with front flips slash Webster slash whatever you want to call it. Any front flipping sort of thing. Front flips suck. But out of the big three, my favorite flip is the side flip. Now, the reason why I like side flips so much is because backflips, you got to stand to do them. You can do gainers, which is just a running backflip, but you go forwards. Those are terrifying. Front flips, I don't like because it's a blind flip. Now, why I like side flips is because, well, now that I think of it, side flips are kind of a blind flip. I don't know. I just feel like I can spot myself a little bit better. It's not exactly a blind flip, and you can run into it. I used to struggle with side flips so much, and well, okay, so I used to struggle with side flips a lot, but I went to this parkour place, this parkour and free running place, and we did this one drill, and after I did this drill, I was able to do them. And I'm trying to find a place that's relatively route free. Okay, so I think this is good. So basically, when I did side flips, I wasn't rotating right, and I was always landing, like I was always over rotating. So I would do them, and I would like land like this. I just wasn't rotating right. And the way that you should be rotating when you do a side flip is kind of shoulder to shoulder. So it's like it's not like you roll on the lower part of your back. It's you're rolling on the upper part of your back from shoulder to shoulder. It's like and you're keeping your arms stiff. So if you practice that and you get that feeling of that rotation into muscle memory, I know it's kind of a big step from rolling on the ground to doing a flip, but that's the best advice I can give for side flips. So let's try one. Yeah, I'm going to roll that back. It's not a blind flip. Like when I'm in the air and my head's spinning, I can spot my landing, and that makes it so much safer and so much easier, honestly, to do. Okay, let's do another one. Oh, and another thing. This is just because I have bad tendons, but you can punch into it and do it that way. I don't like doing it. I like doing a 1-2 jump because it's a little bit easier on my tendons. Let's do one more. So much easier. So much easier than front flips. And let's see. I used to be able to do standing side flips. So let's see if I can do that. I think I'm feeling pretty bouncy. Let me fix my hair a little bit. Oh yeah, so easy. I just gotta tuck. I just gotta tuck violently. Okay. What else? What else can I do? Well, I said the goal of this video is to try and do a J step gainer or kick the moon, whatever you want to call it. And I want to do that, but I first want to do a front flip 180. And this is kind of a weird one because it's like it's harder to tuck, or you don't really tuck when you do this. But it's also easier because you can see the ground the whole entire time. So to learn this one, I would either do this down a hill or do it off a ledge because you might need a little bit more air to complete the flip. But or if you get enough air time, then it's pretty easy, or it's not that scary or anything. Okay, let's see if I can do this on flat. I've never tried this before. Oh yeah. Okay, we got that, but that's the only one that I'm going to do, because another thing about this is that, like the Webster, it puts a lot of strain on your hamstrings. And I am more flexible than when I was 16, but I'm not that flexible compared to the average person. Or maybe I am. I don't have a good sense of how flexible the average person is. Let's see, what's another cool one? Well, we can do an aerial. I'm not sure if that really counts. It's basically the same thing as a front 180, except like the only difference is that it's just like a instead of like a slightly different start, landing, jump, take off. So, and I don't want to injure my hamstring, so we're not going to do that. Ooh, I thought of a good one. This next one is called, there's actually two. It's the butterfly kick and the butterfly twist. So the butterfly kick is a progression of the butterfly twist. Butterfly kick. Let me move the camera. No chicken poop. No chicken poop. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit hard because this ground's not really that flat. So let's find some flat ground. Okay, this is good. So butterfly kick, it's kind of weird in that you start like this. it's like a weird thing, and then you kind of just jump. There's other ways to do it where you're running, where you do like a spin. But this is how I learned. It's just, and that's it. It probably doesn't look that cool, but I don't know. It's kind of fun to do. And so that is a progression of the butterfly twist, which is the same thing, same motion, except you twist your arms and you spin. You put a little twist into it. And it can be a little bit intimidating at first because when you twist, your head's going like this, your body's rotating like this. And so it can be kind of awkward. But once you get it, at least from the outside, it looks a lot cooler. Whoa! Okay, that wasn't a good one. Let me see if I can get a better one. So when I do it, I think I need to commit to the going instead of going out. I need to go up and over. That felt a little better. Oh, my hair is going everywhere. Okay, try one more. Okay, last but not least. Oh, I'm not in frame. Okay, last but not least, we'll try cheek gainer. Which will kind of be hard to do because there's not that much good ground for this. But I think, yeah, I think that will be enough space. So for this, the first time that I learned how to do this was probably when I was like 10-ish. And I don't really have good advice for this one. You kind of just have to do it. If you got backflips, and you can probably do this. Probably the best thing is to, especially at the start, make sure that you get a lot of power, not necessarily into the J step, but make sure that you're generating a lot of power off of the plant and the kick. Like get a lot of momentum so that it can carry you through the flip. This one's a little bit scary because you don't want to slip. So I'm not going to go too. I'm not going to go too fast. But I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get a lot of power off of my plant. So let's see how this goes. I'm just going to walk into it. I think I should be able to do it with just a walk. Woo! And yeah, that's a little bit harder to do because it's obviously harder to flip. You don't normally like try, or it's hard to tuck. You don't normally try to tuck when you do this. I say if you are able to do a bad layout backflip, then you should be able to do this. Let's try another one. Oh, that made my throat hurt. Oh, my throat hurts for some reason. Okay, let's do one more. Woo! That was the best one. Okay, so that was me just doing free running stuff for the first time in a really long time. So yeah. Hello. You're the reason I can't do running flips. Your shit is everywhere.